What's up, amazing souls? Welcome back to Spirit's Magic, the spot where we vibe on all things spiritual and empowering. Before we dive in, if you're feeling the vibe, hit that subscribe button, toss a thumbs up our way. It helps us keep the good stuff coming. So, whether you're lounging on the couch or tackling your to-do list, grab a snack, kick back, and let's get into it. And hey, share your thoughts down below. Let's make this a real conversation. Have you ever come across a person so absorbed in themselves that they seem oblivious to the feelings of others? Or perhaps it's the total opposite and you met someone who seems to feel and absorb emotions more intensely than others? These are not just social constructs or personality types. Today, we're shedding light on the spiritual phenomena of the narcissist and empath. Narcissism from a spiritual perspective is not just someone with an inflated ego or self-centeredness. It's a deeper, more profound condition where a person is so entangled in their own illusion of self-importance that they become disconnected from the spiritual essence of empathy and compassion. It's like a veil of self-obsession that obscures the soul's ability to connect and empathize with others. On the other end of the spectrum, we find empaths. These are individuals with the innate sensitivity to feel and absorb emotions on a deeper level than the average person does. Empaths are often seen as the emotional sponges of the world, soaking up the feelings and energies around them. They are deeply intuitive, compassionate, and often spiritual, which makes them particularly susceptible to the energies and actions of others. Now imagine these two distinct energies crossing paths. The empath, who is naturally open and absorbent of emotions, becomes an easy target for the narcissist who thrives on attention and control. This intersection can lead to what we call a narcissistic spiritual attack. In this scenario, the narcissist, whether aware or not, takes advantage of the empath's sensitivity for personal benefit, leaving the empath feeling depleted, perplexed, and spiritually violated. But why is this important? Well, understanding these dynamics is crucial to recognizing and addressing narcissistic spiritual attacks. Once we comprehend the spiritual nature of narcissism and the innate sensitivity of empaths, we can better identify when a narcissistic spiritual attack is occurring. It allows us to empathize, protect, heal, and empower ourselves and others who may be experiencing this. Understanding these concepts is the first step in acknowledging the spiritual attack on empaths. As we delve deeper, we'll uncover the spiritual roots of narcissism, signs of a narcissistic spiritual attack on an empath, and practical protection methods to safeguard your spiritual well-being. Stay tuned as we navigate this intriguing spiritual landscape. What sparks the ignition of narcissism? Could it harbor a spiritual element? Let's journey into the spiritual genesis of narcissism. Narcissism originates from the mythological figure Narcissus, which represents an excessive preoccupation with one's own importance, a grandiose self-image, and an insatiable need for admiration and validation. Narcissists exhibit a limited capacity for empathy, often exploiting and manipulating others to serve their desires and agendas. Their relentless pursuit of attention, power, and control can lead to manipulative behaviors, emotional manipulation, and the erosion of genuine connections. While psychology provides valuable insights into the development and diagnosis of narcissistic personality disorder, NPD, there are deeper spiritual roots that contribute to its existence that are often unknown to many. We invite you to look at narcissism from a spiritual perspective. The spirit of narcissism can manifest in an individual in two distinct ways. The less common way is through inherited demonic possession passed down genetically from a narcissistic parent who carries a demonic entity within them. Another way is through the influence of an actual demonic possession on an individual, usually during the early ages of childhood by these types of entities. These two pathways, whether through inherited demonic possession or direct demonic influence, contribute to the manifestation of narcissism in individuals. A born narcissist inherits the trait through their parents' spiritual DNA. While narcissistic parents typically have empaths as their counterparts, their children, there are instances where they can breed other narcissistic children as well. The more common root of narcissism is possession by a demonic entity. This usually occurs when the individual experiences deep emotional wounds or injuries, which usually occur during the formative years of childhood, causing significant damage to their auric field. For most, an auric field is an invisible, protective spiritual veil that surrounds each human and is unseen to the naked eye. When a significant wound, such as childhood trauma, occurs, it leaves the aura vulnerable and open, creating an opportunity for a low negative entity to possess them. The vulnerability is particularly pronounced during a person's developmental years, making it easier for a low negative entity to influence a child whose auric field is still in the process of forming. If this is your initial encounter with this information, we recognize that it might come as a surprise or seem somewhat unreal. However, have you ever wondered why narcissists play mind games? Why they are experts at illusion, or the impact their actions has on one's psyche? Well, demons prioritize attacking the mind above all else. By infiltrating the thoughts, they gain the ability to infect and influence every aspect of one's life, exerting control over an individual's emotions, decisions, and overall well-being. Now, if you are still in doubt, consider this. Why do narcissists target and abuse empaths more than anyone else? Empaths, with their heightened sensitivity, are believed to have a profound spiritual mission on Earth. Narcissists are instruments of demonic possession and aim to obstruct empaths from accomplishing their purpose. In our next video, we will dive deeper into the connections and ties between narcissism and demonic entity possession. Narcissism extends beyond mere human behavior. It's a spiritual battle. Now, how can one recognize when they're under a narcissistic spiritual attack? Let's delve into this, as understanding these signs can be a crucial part of your spiritual journey as an empath. A narcissistic spiritual attack can be subtle, but the effects are far from it. Empaths, with their heightened sensitivity and deep empathy, can often become targets of multiple narcissistic spiritual attacks. To protect their emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being, empaths must develop a keen awareness of the signs and symptoms of spiritual attacks. Narcissists are jealous of empaths and their discomfort with the love and admiration empaths receive, frequently making them resort to smear campaigns. They spread false information and start rumors to tarnish the empath's reputation, aiming to isolate them socially and emotionally. This tactic serves the narcissist's desire for validation and pity from others. By portraying the empath as the problem, they attempt to divert attention away from their destructive behaviors and manipulate the perceptions of others on the empath. The narcissist curates this tactic of making the empath appear emotionally unstable and, in a sense, crazy and angry way before the relationship has ended. Being opportunistic, the narcissist will use any vulnerable moment the empath has and go as far as recording it for the world to see. The smear campaign is also a tactic to humiliate the empath and inflict punishment if the empath chooses to end the relationship, which is driven by the narcissist's profound fear of rejection. As severing ties with the narcissist inflicts a deep emotional wound, it is also why narcissists often initiate the act of discarding before they can be abandoned themselves. Narcissists disregard and violate the boundaries of empaths, invading their personal space, emotions, and any sense of freedom they might have. The narcissist will invade the empath in every form and way. They will invade all their circles, including their family, friends, and even colleagues, become pawns in the narcissist game. The sole purpose of this is control, so they can slowly turn everyone against the empath. Empaths often experience heightened emotional fatigue, anxiety, or depression due to the constant emotional roller coaster of dealing with narcissists. They may find themselves emotionally drained after interactions with narcissistic individuals. Narcissists skillfully undermine the empath's self-esteem, belittling their accomplishments, diminishing their sense of self-worth, and manipulating the empath's perception of reality. Over time, the empath may begin to doubt their abilities, strengths, and overall value. A core tactic employed by narcissists is gaslighting, which involves distorting the truth, causing the empath to doubt their thoughts, feelings, and experiences. Gaslighting erodes the empath's sense of reality and fosters a state of confusion and self-doubt. Narcissists often project their negative traits onto empaths, making them feel responsible for the narcissist's actions or emotions. They shift blame and avoid accountability. Narcissists devalue and invalidate the emotions of empaths, dismissing their feelings as irrelevant, exaggerated, or unworthy of attention. This can leave empaths feeling emotionally suppressed. Knowing these signs can be your first line of defense against narcissistic spiritual attacks. So, stay aware, trust your intuition, and remember that you have the power to protect yourself. So you've identified the signs, but how do you protect yourself from these attacks? Empaths triumph over narcissistic spiritual attacks by reclaiming their power, setting strong boundaries, and reconnecting with their authentic selves. Now, it's essential to remember that protecting oneself from narcissistic spiritual attacks is not about engaging in a spiritual battle with the narcissist. It's about strengthening your spiritual defenses and cultivating your resiliency. The first step is to establish and maintain strong personal boundaries. Your personal space is sacred, and it should be treated as such. If you feel someone is crossing these boundaries, it's crucial to assert yourself and communicate your discomfort. This may feel challenging, especially if you're an empath, but remember that your well-being matters. Next, practice self-care religiously. This includes both physical and mental self-care. Regular exercise, a balanced diet, ample sleep, and mindfulness practices like meditation or yoga can help fortify your spiritual health. Another method is to cultivate a positive mindset. Narcissistic spiritual attacks often thrive on negativity. By consciously choosing positivity, you're creating an environment that's inhospitable to such attacks. This might involve daily affirmations, gratitude journaling, or simply focusing on the good in your life. Let's not forget the power of a supportive community. Surrounding yourself with positive, understanding, and supportive individuals can greatly alleviate the impact of narcissistic spiritual attacks. Their positive energy can act as a protective shield, buffering you from the negative impacts of narcissism. Lastly, seek professional help if needed. Therapists and spiritual guides can provide valuable insights and coping strategies. They can help you navigate this challenging journey with greater ease and confidence. It's important to note that these methods are not a one-size-fits-all solution. Every individual is unique, and what works for one might not work for another. So, feel free to experiment and find what resonates with you. Remember, the goal is not to change the narcissist, but to empower yourself. It's about reclaiming your space, your energy, and ultimately your life from the clutches of narcissistic spiritual attacks. With these methods, you can begin to fortify your spiritual defenses. Our goal is to empower anyone undergoing such tribulations, so we thought we'll share a quick story. Picture this. There was this awesome young girl, and she was quite special, full of spiritual superpowers, and her aura glowed bright since a baby. Her hands were practically magic wands. They can heal to the touch. So now picture her life just out of middle school and starting high school. Life was all good, and she did not have a care in the world. Unfortunately, she meets this boy who befriends her, and they become the ultimate dynamic duo, best friends for life. However, plot twist. The friend wanted more than friendship, and Mr. Persistent did just that. He persisted for 2 years. After loads of hesitation and disregarding her intuition, our radiant girl finally gave in. Now is where you cue the drama. Little did they both know that young romance would mark the beginning of a 14-year tumultuous relationship. That was one for the books. Full of jealousy, drama, cheating, disrespect, humiliation, and violence. A relationship that felt like living under scrutiny was the new norm that became this once highly spiritual girl's new life. Everyone from friends, family, neighbors, co-workers, old teachers, acquaintances, strangers, and even the law tried to break this relationship up, but somehow they always found their way back to each other. Fast forward 7 years had passed, and our once highly spiritual young girl finally had an aha moment, realizing that this crazy roller coaster wasn't normal at all. At that moment, her spiritual awakening began, and her divine purpose came shortly after. Even though it took her an additional 7 years to break free from the relationship, she always jokes that she needed the extra 7 for every year she endured. Yet, from the darkness emerged a profound light. Lessons about self-worth, intuition, and liberation from codependency were learned. The most significant revelation, the unveiling of spiritual gifts and being of service to the masses. This transformative journey led to the creation of something extraordinary, Spirit's Magick, a sanctuary for spiritual growth and healing. Keep in mind, if you're going through a similar experience, there's support available at www.spiritsmagick.com. Our range of services includes soul tie removals, cord cuttings, spiritual readings, and baths, and much more. Let our story be a source of inspiration, a reminder that within us lies the strength to overcome, to heal, and to empower ourselves. Don't forget to share your thoughts or experiences in the comments, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. We are not alone in our battles. Together we can conquer narcissistic spiritual attacks. We are here to empower and support you.